Hi, I'm Randy Pierson, Vice President of Life and Annuities for Gordon Marketing. And on this episode of Selling Life and Annuities, I've got Tim Luby, our RVP on the annuity side, with me to talk about some exciting results we're experiencing with our annuity lead program called Annuity GQ. Please stay tuned. All right, Tim, so we rolled out Annuity GQ 3 or 4 months ago, and we've got some really good, very positive, potentially exciting results to report. Would you share some of that with the agents?
Yes. We selected this program based on its differences with the other things that were available in the market. And I think that the key differences that we were hearing about and that now we know from results are actually happening was first that they were targeting higher net worth households for the annuity producers at their events. And that actually definitely turned out to be true. High net worth households, $500,000 plus, many $1 million plus households that our advisors have run into. And the second thing that attracted us to this program that we think is very different is that Annuity GQ goes the extra mile to help the advisor get appointments with those higher net worth households. So those are probably the most outstanding differences and results that we're seeing here as opposed to what you might see in other lead programs that are available.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, right? I mean, it's not always the case, especially in the insurance industry, where somebody makes a promise and delivers on that promise. And I will say that every agent that I've spoken to that's participated in the Annuity GQ program, to a person, agrees that they delivered on bringing the advisor in front of the right kind of prospect for an annuity sale. And I think that's really, really important to note. So in that, can you share some of the numbers? I mean, what are some of the numbers that we're seeing with regards to Annuity GQ delivering on their promise?
Yeah. Well, with any event, there's kind of 3 pieces to it, but the first part is getting people there, getting people in the seats. And they've had outstanding results with that. Where they're doing webinars or live events, you have people that register for the event, and then you have people that actually show up.
Right.
And they've had really strong numbers on both. Consistently, it's usually about 50% of the people that register, that sign up for it, that show up for whatever reason. It probably gets a little bit worse in the summer, when you're talking about events like that. But that's pretty consistent results. So they guarantee 20 households per event. And they've been very close to hitting that mark on a very consistent basis. The price gets significantly better for the producer when they get over 30. And we have had a couple of events where they've had over 30, in the mid-30s of people that actually showed up at the event. So that, and when you keep in mind that these households never hear about your event until they've already identified, and Annuity GQ has identified that they are looking for help and that they have higher than average assets in the household.
Yeah, and then the other component too, right? Registrants, attendees, people who actually attend, but then the other component is consults, right? How many actual direct conversations are they setting up between the advisor, the agent, and the consumer? And they're delivering on that component as well. And it's really, really impressive, in my opinion. So if an agent is considering Annuity GQ or looking for a program that can help get them in front of more prospects, what are some of the things that you're telling agents that are considering this as tips or tools or techniques that they need to make sure they're implementing to make the program profitable, right? Because ultimately, it's all about the sales, right? I mean, getting in front of the right people is the first part, but it's all for naught if you don't make a sale.
Right. Well, and that's one of the keys. The 3 pieces are getting people there, doing a successful presentation, which is largely up to the advisor, to the annuity producer. And for that to be successful, they really need to be good, very comfortable with closing annuities. They just kind of have to be like an annuity closer to a degree. And then the third piece is the follow-up. And on all 3 pieces, Annuity GQ helps significantly, does a lot of the heavy lifting. But especially on the appointment end, when it comes to follow-up and setting appointments, people, they've got really good people on the phone that do an outstanding job getting appointments for the advisor after his event. Whether they attended the event or not, they're very good at getting appointments for the advisor with these households.
And then, as you said, it's up to the advisor, right? I mean, the deliverables, their ability to communicate the right sales ideas, the concepts, understand and communicate the value prop of annuities, and then, as you said, being able to get that client to fill out the application, scratch the app with a signature, and write a check, right?
And it's interesting, it's called Annuity GQ, but they're putting them in households where the solutions actually could be anything. And it's one of the beauties of the program is what they choose to sell to that client is entirely up to them. It could be a life insurance solution, it could be a long-term care solution, it could be an annuity solution. It can really run the gamut. And that's one of the things. And some of our most successful advisors, that's what we're seeing.
Yeah.
We're seeing them have a real mix of business. It's not just some cookie cutter annuity that they go out and do over and over again. They're talking to these clients about what they need, and they may be placing them in a life insurance case or LTC or annuity, whatever it may be.
And you mentioned a couple times during our dialogue here that most of the Annuity GQ presentations that have been conducted have been virtual, right? Have been webinar based. However, we are in an environment where COVID is becoming less of a concern, and the ability for advisors to get in front of groups of people is becoming easier. And to that end, we've got some exciting news from Annuity GQ that they are offering for advisors that are referred to them by organizations like Gord Marketing, one of the exclusive providers of Annuity GQ, significantly discounted opportunities to hold live events. So if you're an agent out there, and we've intrigued you with some of the results that we're experiencing with Annuity GQ, and you'd also like to drive your annuity sales to greater heights, and lastly, would really like to get back in front of people, perhaps that's where you feel like you're the best, please contact Tim. Tim can describe and the program, discuss with you the details that you want to know and how you can get enrolled in both the virtual as well as the live Annuity GQ program. But with that, unfortunately, we've come to an end of our time today for this episode of Selling Life and Annuities. I would ask that you would do me a favor. If you're watching this video and you found it beneficial, please click subscribe as well as the notification bell below so that every time we come out with some content that might have a positive impact on your sales and your revenue, you'll be sure to know about it. But Tim, thank you very much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Stay tuned for the next episode and happy selling.